There.
Now, should be live. Hello, welcome. I was about to say the old name. That's not the name. Tokyo Podfathers.
That's us, baby.
Episode 19 and 20, I think, of Attack on Titan final season.
I posted like it didn't like full episode number. I think it's like 80 something. And I'm like, that's so unhelpful. Like,
yes, I hate when it does, because then I'm like looking at my catalog of episodes and I'm like, did I watch this week's or last week's? And it says 80, and I'm like, I have no fucking... Is that season 3? I don't know.
Like, what does that mean? Yeah, I double-checked. It's like 70, 79, and 80, 78. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Something like that.
It's all nonsense. Anyway.
Made-up numbers.
This was a lot of exposition today, but I feel like it was needed. Although it didn't really answer a lot. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know.
First time catching us live from Anime Tiger in the chat. Glad to have you here.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shout out to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was a weird episode. After the end of the last one, I saw, like the preview the next time on, and I was like, oh god, next episode is gonna fucking suck. It's all just gonna be a bunch of like dumb bullshit in their heads and nothing is going to happen. And I feel like I was right with that assessment, but also it was weird enough that I don't feel like it's fair to just dismiss it like that.
Yeah. Should we go over last week's episode because we didn't stream last week?
Yes, we should do that.
Last week was all action.
Hey, guys.
Oh, hello.
Oh, there's Oni.
Special guest
joining us today.
Onimaru.
Hey, Panic. Hey, Sinners.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. I just pulled into my house. So I was just like, oh, shit, I'm going to be late. So I was like worried.
No, that was good timing.
Sliding right into the call.
Into this episode. So,
perfect.
Yeah, so the only issue is I did not watch the latest episode, but, I read the manga, so if that's not a big deal. I mean, I watched last week's.
Well, I think this episode was entirely anime original. I don't know if that's...
Oh, is it?
No.
I mean,
I don't know.
Can you imagine?
Has this season...
Can you imagine? This just anime original. It's like, they just added some really weird shit on there.
Has Attack on Titan ever done anime original stuff?
I think so.
Has there been filler?
I think there was there might technically be one anime original line added to this, according to someone on Twitter. So,
added to this episode?
Yeah, but it's such a not a big deal. It was
yeah. But I'm thinking you have Naruto and Bleach are like famous for their entire arcs of filler. Same thing. Yeah. Like other shonen things have a lot of filler, but I don't feel like I've ever heard anybody critiquing Attack on Titan for like inserting new stuff.
And I think it's like one of those cases where like Zeke said this line at another point, but they just rearranged it so it happened now. So like,
was it a line about the patriarchy and?
Fuck my dad.
We're just stirring up some shit. Yeah, this was just daddy issues. The episode. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Well, to catch you up, Onimaru, just so you know, this episode ended with like after the memory of Grisha killing the royal family, him like seeing the memory Zeke. And
he's like, I should have played with you when you were a kid. I love you. Stop, Eren. And then Eren's just looking menacing.
Right. That was the last scene, right?
Man, I am loving feral Eren. Like I thought it had peaked, and then he's like egging his dad on to, yes, do kill the children. Do it. Do it, you pussy.
Come on.
What's this? A conscience? Fuck you. Kill them. Do it now.
Yeah, I read it. I knew what happened, but I also saw last week's episode today to be like fresh in my mind on what was going down. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like just a lot of. I guess should we talk about last week or still go on this one because I like.
Oh, we can start with last week's. What was your thought about it? Thoughts?
So I guess to recap because it's been a week. I guess it has been a week. So last week was when more people were fighting, and then Falco's brother was like, Zeke, don't scream. My brother will turn into a Titan. I don't know what you're about, but like you don't want to fight kids. And then
and Zeke was like sorry, fam.
Yeah, Zeke was like, damn,
that really sucks for you, huh?
And then so they get turned into a Titan, and then the current Jaw Titan is so fucked up, but he saw his brother's memory of protecting him, and because he's a petty bitch, he's like, Reiner, I'm gonna get one over on you one last time, and then he essentially saves Reiner, and Falco eats him to become the Jaw Titan, and then
that was a good moment.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm memeing, but like that's a really cool moment. I like that.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm still better than you. That's it. That's all I needed to prove.
And I can respect that level of pettiness. So, it's both a good character moment and like a funny haha, get him.
And it's also a big fuck you because Reiner really just wants to die. Like
Reiner's been on suicide watch for like 3 seasons now, and no one will let him do it.
But before we go on to the big stuff that happens after that, because it's easy to like lose that moment in all of the stuff that happens later, I am curious what you guys think of Galliard, like as a character.
I think he's kind of an important character because sometimes it's way too easy to kind of get lost in like a certain character like Reiner, who at the moment was getting praised by a lot of people. But I think having someone who's around who kind of like hates you and kind of keeps you grounded is very important. But it's also just interesting to see him kind of reminding him like of how competitive their positions are, because it's easy to think of like, oh, Reiner, he's accomplished a lot, but he's also kind of suicidal, and it's kind of funny, but like he's also in such a competitive position, so it's like a nice balancing act. So like I would never consider him a favorite character, but I do think he serves a very important role, so to speak.
Okay.
Oh, it's Porco. I was like, who the fuck is Galliard? Never heard that name. Is that his full name?
Porco Galliard or something?
Porco Galliard.
Okay. What do you think of him?
Am I supposed to know who the fuck? I think he has a cheesy ass haircut.
I never really had too strong of a feeling on him. He kind of felt like he was there to round out the numbers.
Yeah.
For most of the past season. Just in that, like, I don't know, he doesn't really do much ever before this episode, aside from just get his ass beat by Eren over and over again.
Yeah.
Getting used to Juice, the Warhammer Titan.
Yeah, right. Like, he's just like, he's kind of like the jobber character. He's just there to show us like how badass Eren is now.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that makes sense because Galliard, if it wasn't for Eren, Galliard would probably be more of a badass.
Right. But I thought it was really cool what they did with him in episode 19 there, because I thought, like I think most people did, that I saw a lot of people predicting that Falco was going to get turned into a Titan, and then that Reiner was going to let Falco eat him, which almost did happen. Like, it correctly predicted that is what Reiner would want to do. But it was a nice twist to have Galliard do it instead.
Yeah, you fail to consider that the universe does not want Reiner to have anything that he wants.
Reiner to
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is your burden to carry. That's it.
Right.
I have a meme for everyone. I'm linking it.
Oh shit! Where?
I don't know where to link it. Where should I link our meme? But this is like relevant. Did I just do voice chat? Look in voice chat.
Okay.
And if you haven't joined our Discord, you can see memes in real time. So join Tokyo Podfathers Discord. But someone edited this, and I think it's really funny. This is real.
That is really good.
That's
funny. Like, while that scene was on, I was like in this episode, I was thinking of that meme where like one guy, it's like flashback thing with like, I can still hear his voice, and the voice is like gay, homosexual, gay. Yeah, just whispering into his ear.
I just like love that panel. Like, it just like leads to such good meme material. It's
great format for memes.
Yeah. So I just thought that was so funny, where it's like Reiner is like, finally my time to die, and it's like, nope.
I get to die a good noble death. Nah, fam.
Nope, you get nothing. So funny. It's definitely a good character moment too. And then, speaking of good character moment, I really like how they did kind of like I don't think it's stop motion, but they just did like the still frames, and they kind of like went through all of the events going on right when Gabi was shooting Eren.
Oh, that was so good.
That was awesome.
Someone made a great point, like how that the craziest thing that happened that episode is that this preteen girl is like hip firing a 50 cal sniper rifle and hitting her mark and not just breaking every bone in her body in the process.
To be fair, I saw someone complaining about that. They're like, why didn't she dislocate her shoulder after shooting that? And a lot of people, myself included, are like, so it's like Attack on Titan.
Well,
everyone
sure,
can turn into like,
but that's a big ass rifle.
But I was happy to see that. First, I think they show her shooting Eren and blowing his head off. Like literally, it's just his head is flying. And then when they show the still shots of everyone, she's getting like flung back and she's bleeding. So I think she did take some damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So realism maintained. Now we can focus on the big giants.
Now we can focus on the important part. How the fuck did she hit?
And also, like, don't these kids like get like this brutal, like intense training because like regimen since like they're kids, like since they're a lot younger, since they want to become Titans, so they'd have to be able to withstand a lot to be able to handle it.
Yeah, also
sure.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like that'll break an adult arm.
Yeah. I think she did get like we can say she got like moderately.
Gabi is a trooper though.
Yeah. And if anyone could shoot Eren like sniper point blank,
360 no scope.
Because she was like established as kind of like this prodigy top of her class, you know.
And she also did like snipe Sasha from like rolling on the floor and just immediately bam.
Yeah, we can't forget the reason everyone hates her has come around full circle, and now she shot Eren and was kind of lit.
And now we're like, oh, good actually, yes.
And then I like the way they show you know, Zeke tossing the baseball to Eren back in the day and him dropping it. Like juxtapose that with Eren's head falling off and Zeke catching the head. So it's like the baseball is like Eren's head, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's like, yeah, I guess that works. That's close enough.
I was kind of wondering if there was a point, if that was like symbolic.
What I read it as, which was funny and probably not what intended, was Eren dropping the ball, like literally on this operation. He just drops the ball.
But that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That, like, I think that can't be correct because I don't think that's like a saying that translates across the language barrier, right?
That's very
like,
true too, actually.
I think it was supposed to show that like that was like their unofficial handshake because they couldn't literally handshake. So like when he throws the ball to Eren, like, you know, they connect like, and you know, that would be like them connecting, them both being on the same page, and Eren dropping it is kind of supposed to be like, hey, because up until that point we don't know what Eren's plans are. We're under the assumption that he's following Zeke's orders, and that's supposed to be like, nah, Eren's not like fully behind Zeke's plan.
Why can't they literally handshake?
Because then they would activate paths or
only if they want to, right?
I don't think they can control it.
Zeke says something in like the flashback about like,
do they not control it?
Zeke literally says like, oh, I'd like to shake your hand, but it's best we don't touch yet.
Yeah, it's something like,
take this baseball and
wear gloves.
Yeah, do the Mystique thing. Yeah, I mean, so essentially that was their unofficial handshake, and Eren dropped the ball on the handshake. So that's the T.
Look, this whole thing, though, everyone knows it's all just like pointless cliffhanger because Eren is definitely not dead because he just transferred his consciousness into his spine.
Yeah, he transferred his consciousness into his ass as established by Reiner's bullshit earlier.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
It's well established that like destroying a Titan Shifter's head will not kill them.
Yeah.
So I do not believe that Eren is dead until this whole Mindscape flashback
But then if his consciousness wasn't in his head, then would it have triggered the whole thing that Reiner caught the head?
That's a good point, yeah.
He's not in the head anymore. Oh, well, he is in the head.
Well, I remember watching The Office like 2 seconds ago, like literally today, and Dwight said that the human body can still survive with being severed the human head can survive being severed from the body.
Yeah.
So I was watching this and I'm like, well, it is Attack on Titan, but also Dwight Schrute said that the human body can survive. So based on bullshit, I think it's fine.
The human head survives for a little bit. It's like a chicken.
Yeah.
That's why they have to use. That's why with guillotines they have to have the basket to catch the head, so people can't see it like move.
And as we know, Zeke is a professional baseball player, so he could have caught that with or without a spine.
Yeah, Zeke is a franchise player for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we need him on the 76ers.
Thanks to Mr. Casaver.
Yeah.
Saver. That's right.
So, and then that of course leads to Pats, which I remember Panic mentioning like a year ago, and I couldn't say anything because it was like an obvious spoiler for today. So it was probably like a year ago today. I remember Panic being like, but what about Pats? And I'm like, I don't know where you heard that word. I've never said it.
What do you mean where I heard that? It's all everybody ever talks about with Attack on Titan threads. People just all caps, Pats.
Yeah.
And it means nothing.
Yeah. So I was like playing dumb, but I was like, Panic, shut up about Pats. Wait, it's too soon.
It was 1 year too soon.
Yeah.
I still don't know about Pats. Like,
now.
Was this a separate timeline? Like, they're able to go back in time and like interact with the past.
Okay, I can explain this now. So Pats is where they're essentially, let's just say they're in like a higher metaphysical verse where like, you know, Eren with the founding Titan and Zeke with like the royal blood, now that they've touched, they're able to like get to this level where they're, you know, in communication with the founder Ymir. So let's just say like time is stopped and they're able to like do all of this like meta shit in like real time. Does that kind of make sense?
So the Pats are like, they like connect every Eldian that's ever lived, right? Is kind of the
exactly.
idea?
Yeah, exactly.
But for what purpose?
Well, this would be
dumb plot bullshit.
Yeah, this is where peak shit happens. Panic. Just accept it. No, so it's like, so this would be like, let's say Zeke out the founding Titan and him being a royal, he would be able to communicate with Ymir, the like founder, and do whatever the fuck he wanted with Titans. Like, you know how he's able to do some of that? This is like, you know, extreme version. Like, he could really do anything he wanted, where he could like, you know, euthanize them if it was like him by himself.
But can they change? Can they change the past?
They can't change the past. They're just going back in time in memories. So like the past.
But they're interacting
with
the past, with the memories.
Because that's what they're finding out happened in real time, because they're able to see into their memories. You know. So like when they show, and I'll jump ahead to episode 20. So when they show like Eren's dad about to leave, and he's like, "Here's the key. Like, I'll show you the basement," and he's like looking out the door. In Eren's dad's memory, he's like looking at like older Eren, but that's what happened on like Eren's dad's point of view back then, you know? So like they're able to see his memories, and I think they could like, you know, I guess kind of like see the memories of back in the time. So like I think it's just showing us what happened from that perspective now that we like know everything, so to speak.
But it also seemed
like,
very...
If you go back to the first chapters of the manga, is Grisha like looking weirdly off to the side in that panel?
Yeah. Ooh, let me show you.
But what determines when or he can't or cannot see them? Because that seemed also not fixed. It seemed very on or off whether he was able to see them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like I guess they can control that. I don't think they want him to see them all the time. I don't know. I think that's a bit more haphazard.
Zeke seemed surprised that he could see him.
Yeah, I think Eren could control that. So I posted an example in voice chat. Like, it doesn't show the full thing, but if I go back and look at the manga panels, like in the first scene, it shows that like Eren's dad is like looking off, and you only see like his shadow or profile, and then in like that chapter, he's looking right at Eren. Yeah, so they did do that, and that's where people were like, "Oh my god, Attack on Titan foreshadowing has never been topped," like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That is interesting, because for a long time I've wondered with Attack on Titan, like how much of the like super complicated plot shit was planned from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because there have been things here and there, and I can't think of examples right now, but I definitely remember, on our previous season of live streams, occasionally being like, I feel like this was come up with a lot later than other things. But for that to be there like it is pretty cool. I've definitely got to give props for that.
Yeah,
I got the sense that. Oh, sorry, Sean. That
no, I was just saying yeah, and like an exaggerated way.
Yeah.
I got the sense that Isayama had planned a lot of stuff out just from interviews I read like years back. Obviously, he didn't specifically refer to this, but just the fact that he had like a sense of timing of where the story and when it would end, and it kind of tracked along that, and he just kind of had a vision in mind. I'm not saying that he had paths fully thought out back then, but maybe he had the seeds for it.
Right. Yeah. I think some of the things I thought it was like, I don't think that he knew what all of the 9 Titans were going to be until like he had to come up with that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I can totally believe like the paths having existed beforehand.
Yeah. Here, I got a picture of it.
No Zestra X, this is not pre-recorded. We are live.
We're just that good.
we are not preordained. Check out voice chat again. This is chapter 1. You can kind of see it with him looking off into the distance and it not being as obvious.
This looks so bad. I hate the manga so much. It looks like shit.
The newer chapters look pretty good.
Still not that good.
Well,
okay. By the end of it, sure. Hopefully he would have improved.
It's kind of like in the manga like this though. The way the paneling is done, it's not really possible to tell that he isn't
just looking off absent-mindedly.
So
but sure, yeah.
He might have known maybe once the anime was produced. Maybe it wasn't like something that was planned when he was doing it in the manga, but maybe later.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. It seems like a very key element.
Yeah. And also, I don't know how relevant this is per se, but I know that I haven't read this, so, kind of taking a shot in the dark, but, I heard that, what is it? Muv-Luv, it's like a visual novel, was like a big inspiration. I don't know if maybe that has similar elements, but like, it's definitely possible the whole, like, maybe there's some kind of like time travel, like looking into memories aspect that played a huge part to this, but I don't know.
It's like time travel, but not really.
Like in your mind, time travel.
But I do think they do affect something, don't they? Like, they have the power to influence other Eldians.
Well, because they're like, okay, Eren, you saw the memory of your dad killing his family, and it made you sick, and now they're there, and we see that Dad did not want to do it, and Eren had to psych him up.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of so. This is what I've grasped from all of this is that it's like when they're in certain instances, they're able to see the memories because they don't have the royal blood that could like control it at will. So it's like when Eren kissed Historia's hand, he was able to get a glimpse at like all of this, which is why he's gone so like batshit since then. And I think maybe it's just the combination of like Zeke and Eren being there at that time, like combined, were able to get through to Grisha in that moment. So it's like because they can see the memories in the future of what happens, like that's why he was able to like reach out to Grisha and be like, killed the family. But
by the end, when Grisha is asking Zeke to stop Eren, is that because they now both know that Eren's plan is to unleash Titans and kill everybody?
Yeah, I think
is that confirmed actually Eren's plan?
I guess it's not.
Anything is confirmed about Eren's plan.
I think anything this episode confirms that he's fucking feral. He just wants to see blood. Right. No compromise. Enemies die. We're not talking about this anymore.
Yeah, but I think it's like
which I can get down
I've been looking forward to this episode for a while. I think it's really cool stuff. It brings up a whole new level of craziness, but I definitely like everything that was going down, and I think it reveals some really cool information, especially when you start at the beginning, where it looks like Zeke is trying to convince Eren that he's been brainwashed, gaslit, whatever, by their dad. And then you get to the end where it's like, no, Eren brainwashed their own dad. So
Yeah.
it's come around full circle.
That's
Eren,
fucking hilarious. Like
you thought that I was the victim.
I'm gonna show you the memories and show him that you were brainwashed by him, and then 1 second later, I'm no longer brainwashed. We can end this. And see just staring at him like, what the fuck?
Best use of sarcasm.
Yeah, someone in chat, Josic, brings up a good point. It's like season 3, part 2. Eren Kruger. That's not a name that means anything to me, but said Armin and Mikasa's names in some context, even though we should know who that is.
Sorry.
Okay, so
I put my light on.
Eren Kruger was what did they call him? The Owl. He was like the secret, like inside guy for the Restorationists in Marley when Grisha was a kid.
Yeah.
Right, and he said Armin and Mikasa's names. But why would paths have any effect on that?
Well, remember what Grisha said in this episode, that like the Attack Titan can see the future?
Yes.
Yeah. Essentially.
Did he have the Attack Titan?
Yeah, because he gave it to Grisha.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the guy who gave the Attack Titan to Grisha.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We had finally it's revealed what the Attack Titan does.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the loop. It's maybe that they're not, in a way, they're connected because he's seeing, Eren's dad is seeing the future and Eren is himself seeing the past. And so because he had that ability to see Eren in the future, that also like that affected him and kind of how things went.
Yeah. There's also something.
It's all a self-feeding loop.
100 years ago, I feel like there was something about Eren having the coordinate or something.
Yeah, the coordinate is the founding titan, right?
Yeah. I don't know why they keep going back and forth on that.
Does he have the founding titan?
Yeah.
He has it. Okay.
He has the attack,
but he can't use it unless he touches someone with royal blood.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And then somehow Zeke like Uno reverse cards it like, haha, I control the founding titan. Fuck you. Even though I don't have it.
That is the biggest thing that I dislike about these past couple episodes.
That you could just talk it out. You can just say whatever you want to be true, and it's true.
Right.
You thought you had the founding titan, but it was I. Dio.
Well, I think it's like I think Zeke has control because he's able to influence Ymir right now.
But why?
Because he has royal blood. And the whole thing with Ymir, well, I don't know if they've revealed that yet, so I'm not going to talk about that. But Ymir, essentially, all we know right now is that she is like, she has to listen to anyone with royal blood. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mixed up some of the events, so I will only speak.
So because Zeke spent like an eternity in that desert, like years, while Ymir rebuilt Eren's body, he had time to like talk her over? I
think it's just like his natural birthright of being like royal blood that she would automatically defer to him.
Mm-hmm.
So like he kind of gets the, like, no matter what she thinks at this moment, Zeke gets the advantage because he has royal blood. But like, I mean, that's all we know for now.
How far into the future does the Attack Titan see? Is there a limit?
Question.
I don't know. He just said like it sees the memories of its future holders.
Well, it's like,
and I guess we've seen if Eren Kruger knew about Armin and Mikasa, then that's
a future holder.
2 holders in the future.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So if you don't see the future as the Attack Titan, then there are no future holders, and then it's over. So maybe if Eren can't see the future, then he's the last one.
Right.
Yeah, he can only see the past.
I don't think there's been anything to indicate that he can see the future. Right?
Not that I can think of, but
no.
Eren?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been playing it close to the vest, like, really, really well.
He's just been seething.
Just been
the
growling.
last 2 seasons, just coping and seething.
That's a guy.
He's just been moving forward,
accurate.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, I think I think this episode was cool. My favorite part is, of course, so you know how everyone says, because I was born into this world, like that's like the meme line, along with like keep moving forward. My favorite line is when Grisha is like, wow, I can't kill kids. And then Eren is like, you started the story, didn't you? I think that's just like the rawest line. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Right.
I will say that all the time when it's inappropriate.
You have been
no
saying that
what,
a lot.
Me?
Yeah, all over the last year. It's come up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's come up against my will where I'm like...
I've heard that line.
It's like you can't help yourself. It's in a lot of tweets.
It's so funny. I think it's better than because I was born into this world, even though, like, I get that's, like, the meaning of, like, oh, everyone who's born has value, whatever.
He had something in episode 19 where it's like, the biggest mercy is to never be born or something. Just peak, like, edge. God damn.
Yeah, because we're like, wait a minute, that's the wrong show. What about because I was born into this world? What happened to that?
The biggest mercy
I just feel
you can bestow is to never be born.
Like, I feel like, aren't you the one who started the story? Is just something you could just turn around on anyone and just like use it on them, like to convince them of something.
But like, is Grisha the one who started the story?
Chat, real quick. Zestra asked, "Are you guys anime only?" Panic and I are. Sean and Onimaru have read the manga.
Yeah.
I cannot read the manga. It looks too bad.
I only listen, Panic. I only did it because I had to.
You started this story, didn't you? You started this manga, didn't you?
You started this manga, didn't you? But I'm not sure I completely get that line though. I mean, it sounds cool, but is Grisha the one who started that story?
Okay, well now I get to do like a mini analysis on it. Okay, first, it just sounds cool.
Or is he speaking to like every past Titan or something?
I think he's talking to Grisha because there's like these points at which they instigated the story. Like Grisha and his sister going out, like Grisha's drive to go outside the walls of the internment camp and wanting to see the blimp or whatever, like that instigated these events of like his sister getting killed, him kind of being radicalized and wanting to fight against them. So that like started him on this path to becoming a restorationist.
Yeah, but then where does that begin? It's like, why did they do that? And
I think more specifically than that too. Like Grisha is the one who decided to bring everything across the water to the island.
Yeah.
True. Well, wasn't he exiled with the others? He was sent there in exile, right?
He was about to get killed, and then the actual attack titan, it was like, you got to go do this. And he was the one at first, he was like, nah, I can't do it. And then he gets kind of talked into it, but he does choose to do it in the end.
Well, didn't the attack titan then start it? Eren Kruger? Didn't he start the story?
Well, I think that's like, he hadn't accepted the attack titan yet. So then like, once he took on the titan, and then it's like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
He started the story.
I think this is a good point, Panic, that like, I don't know, like, how responsible is Grisha for anything?
It's not his fault.
Responsible.
A bunch of shit happened to him and his sister, and now he's here.
Yeah.
He is choosing to fight back, but then he's like kind of backing down a little bit. Like, if he had just not gone through with it, then nothing would have happened.
Yeah, and it keeps coming up, like, how much is anybody responsible for anything in this show? Like, individually, right? Like,
yeah.
Everybody is doing terrible things as a response to something terrible that was done to them, you know?
Actually, yeah.
Hashtag cycle of violence.
Right.
Going off of that, like, how, like, technically, did even Ymir start this story, you know? Because it was terrible things done to her. So she's not responsible.
That's why I kind of like it as, you started the story, didn't you? It also kind of works as, like, as you guys are saying, like, how much of this is just, like, generations of Attack Titan memories compounded that, like, Eren and everyone who's had the Attack Titan have been forced to remember. Like, no one could be sane after remembering so many years of, like, war and violence and hatred. Like, I like it as also, maybe not like a literal, but like if you want to apply it to real life, it's like, compounding so many cycles of violence onto one person. Like you got to lose your own sanity, like it's too much to force on one person.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But no, Isayama started the story, and he will not kill Reiner.
That son of a bitch.
Yes.
He is definitely the one responsible.
Yeah.
Oh, and yes, Sestra X in chat. Yes, we do have individual channels, some of us. Onimaru and Sha have their own podcast, Just Weeps, and I have my own, Colonel Panic. I have my own channel, but I don't post as much on it. It's funny edits mostly now.
That's what we need, though.
In these dark times.
And I'm just here on the Podfathers.
But yeah, I think this was, as you kind of said, Sinris, it's like, so is this like a bunch of like talking where nothing happens? Yes and no, but like possibly the best type of talking and nothing happens, where it just recontextualizes a lot of events and
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't an action-heavy episode, but I was like gripped through the whole thing. It's like this all matters somehow. Just seeing like Eren finally like mask off, you know. And like, yes, he is crazy, I really and he wants to kill everybody. Yes, I am on Team Eren. Just kill them all.
Yeah. When we were streaming after the first episode of this season, and we were kind of laughing about Armin coping about Eren being like, no, Eren's actually the good guy. He's just going along with the plan.
Yes.
Of course he wouldn't do the terrible thing.
No, he actually wants to do the even worse thing. We were laughing
about, like, do you really think Eren wouldn't do something just, like, batshit insane for no good reason? Like, of course he would do it. That's Eren's whole MO.
I mean, we all agreed with Armin that obviously he's just going along for his own goals. Mm-hmm. But, like, what is his actual plan?
Well, I didn't necessarily know. I was kind of like, I can totally believe that Eren would be down with this plan.
Because he doesn't want to paint himself as the victim ever.
But so in last episode, when he was like, psych, Zeke, I actually don't want to euthanize the Eldian race. I was like, oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Like, Armin was right. I was so ticked.
You didn't want Armin to win.
Fuck you,
like,
Armin.
no.
Well, it wasn't that I didn't want Armin to win. It's that I felt like that scene made more sense if it was just like Armin coping.
But like,
which it also is.
Armin wasn't like completely right though. It was like because Armin was also trying to make a case that Eren isn't batshit insane. So it's like, no, you know, I don't want to euthanize everybody, but I still want everybody dead.
Right.
I don't want to just kill this island. I want to kill everybody.
Oh, okay.
Well, Eren, notorious kid lover, apparently not, because the kids got KO'd.
Notorious kid lover has a wrong feel to it. Didn't he kill? I thought he killed one of those, a notorious kid lover, back in the past.
That's a good transition where I like the detail where Zeke is trying to find like manipulated Eren. He's trying to find it back in his past, and then he goes back to when Eren killed those kidnappers.
Right.
It's just feral child.
Yeah, and it's like Grisha and Zeke have the exact same expression, and Eren's like, "I've always been radicalized. I want to get the fuck out. Like, I want to leave the walls. No one will take my freedom. Like,
anyone tries any shit, I kill them. That's been me from day one, baby."
You don't understand, Zeke. I am simply built different. I also think it's really funny that Zeke put together this whole plan. He was like, "No, Eren, I'll show you. I'll go back through through our dad's memories to show you exactly how he manipulated you." Not actually knowing whether that happened at all. He like just assumed
our dad sucked, and I'm gonna show you. And then later,
go through like 15 years. We'll find it. I'm pretty sure we'll find it.
And then by the end, he's like hugging his dad, like, "Oh man, sorry, Dad. Jeez, this is hard." Fuck.
When they're like, Zeke is like, has his own daddy issues on his mind rent free. He's like, this is the monster in action, and he's like a doctor helping someone. It's like, look at him. Look how terrible he is.
Look, he's manipulating the nobles.
He's such an asshole.
What a fucking asshole. And there, he's about to kill the children. Wait a minute.
That was really funny. Like, it's also like a good moment, but it's really funny if you're just watching it like from Zeke's point of view to try and be like, where is the trauma? And then it's like, no, wait, he traumatized my dad. Holy shit.
What a little shitter.
Is the trauma.
Yeah.
But he did it through paths.
Yeah.
Not in real time, but by going back into the past and like talking shit to his dad.
I really like that we're continuing the thing that was brought up like with Mikasa last season. When Mikasa was like, you know, thinking back to that time Eren saved my life, like, you know, on some level that was kind of cool, but also it was extremely fucked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that we're sticking with the like, yeah, Eren has just like always been unhinged since the very beginning.
It's like he did a good thing, but he did it probably for the wrong reason.
Yeah. It was like, that was a red flag, but at the time we didn't know it was a red flag.
Right.
At the time, we thought it was kind of cool because, like, the kidnappers killing people was bad, but maybe it's kind of wild that, like, a 9-year-old just, like, immediately killed these people. Kind of wild. And that's kind of cool where, like, you know, he's the main character. We're kind of used to, like, the main character maybe not going about it the right way, but having the best intentions. But maybe, like, Jean was right, calling him a homicidal, suicidal maniac. Maybe they were right. Maybe, like, the normal characters had a point.
Was it also in episode 19 that Jean is like, listen, guys, I've been saying since the very beginning that Eren was fucked up.
Yeah. Jean did nothing wrong.
But he's so damn cool when he does it.
Wait, that was like so kind of weirdly out of character. Like, I don't think Jean has ever thought Eren was cool, but like, okay, like close enough.
This is another case of too many fucking characters. Who's? Oh, God damn it!
Jean, like he's one of the main characters who hasn't died yet.
Jean is like he's the tall blonde guy.
The horse face.
Yeah, but they all are tall blonde guys.
He wants Mikasa.
Yeah,
but they all want Mikasa.
That's just the fans. But
in season 1, he was like the jackass who's like, "Oh, Eren, you don't belong with us because you're fucked up. I want to be in the military."
Yeah, right. He wanted to be the inner city.
Yeah.
I'll post how he looks now and.
I see.
At the start of every season, the first time Jean comes on screen, it always takes me by surprise that he's still alive. For some reason, it constantly sneaks back into my head this like wrong information that Jean is dead.
Well, it's interesting that we have Jean and Connie because they both kind of serve like various roles. Like the same role. They both kind of serve the same role, but I'm like, so we got both of you guys still left somehow.
Well, I infamously predicted Connie's death last season.
That's the only one. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
You're
well,
like,
because specifically what I said last season, for anyone who doesn't know, is I was saying like, all right,
no fucking way they kill Sasha.
I said that Connie and Sasha were the only two like side character everymen left because at the time I thought Jean was dead already. But I was like, these two are the only ones left, and there's no way they're killing Sasha. So obviously Connie is going to die this season.
No way they're killing Hot Potato Girl. Right. And leaving the God, Connie has always been such a fucking loser. No way they leave him.
And that's how you knew everyone was fair game after that.
What you really wanted to ask yourself is, who would Reiner prefer to die, and then pick the other one? Because he'll never get what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, it's like who will win? Reiner not dying. Like,
who wins in a fist fight? This guy or Reiner? Well, Reiner will get his ass beat, but he will still win somehow. Because he can't die.
I was actually crying when like Eren was taking on Reiner and what's the Jaw Titan's name? We already said
Porco.
He's like, Porco, you gotta take him. And then they like pans to Porco's face, and like half of his face is like blown the fuck off. And he's like, you gotta get him. Porco. Like, my dude is not moving. He is not He's been frozen for 45 minutes. Like nothing is happening.
Dude, so many, Porco, like, what the fuck? Get up. Walk it off, champ.
I just die at so many like random moments.
And we see in the OP that Annie is gonna wake up at some point. I'm excited for that.
Wait, there's a real galaxy brain argument happening in chat right now that I need to set straight. Mikasa is Japanese, and she is the only Japanese person in the cast, and we know this because it is pointed out very explicitly that she is the only Asian person inside the walls. Yep. And then in last season, there is the like actual not Japan country that shows up and is plot relevant. So the rest of the characters are definitely not Japanese.
Yes.
Just got to lay that out there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. How is JoJo Part 5 brought up?
Because someone was like, well, they have to be Japanese because they speak Japanese in the show. And then
Yes.
someone else was like, well, in JoJo Part 5, they're Italian and they speak Japanese in the show because the show is from Japan.
I
Like,
can
come
see
on,
how
guys,
you
it's not
think
that
that.
complicated.
But the way you just got to think about it is just the show is set where it's set, but it's just dubbed into Japanese. That's it.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that's kind of related to our conversation, Tom said they find Jean and Connie so boring. I disagree on Jean because I do think Jean serves a very important role, especially in moments like this where we're like, so the normal dude who just kind of wants to survive and live life peacefully, who has been, brought into this moment because he cared about his fellow comrades and is like joined the team. I think it's good to remember that like he's the normal guy who called out how psycho Eren was from the get-go. Like we need that kind of balancing act to criticize the main character's actions to show that, like, as extreme as they are, not everyone agrees with them.
Yeah.
I'm just excited.
I like Jean as a character.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I was having a discussion with some people in our Discord server the other day where I was saying, like, man, if Erwin were still around, none of this stupid bullshit would ever have happened.
Did they, Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
But I was saying that, like, Erwin remains to this day the only person in the entire cast who is capable of processing negative emotions in a healthy way.
Yeah, possibly.
I think I might have actually been wrong about that, and also Jean is able to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't just lash out or like let it build up.
Yeah, he's level-headed.
Yeah,
it's like everybody else that you have Armin, who's just like deeply traumatized. And then everybody else
said that, like, it should have been Erwin, not me. I should not have survived.
He's just got survivor's guilt forever.
But then everybody else in the show is like, whenever they experience any negative emotion, their first reaction is to just kill everything around them.
Yeah,
Connie just rages.
I feel like does Mikasa do that? She's kind of level-headed, isn't she?
Well, she's just kind of pouting in the corner.
Yeah,
because
she just pouts. She chews on her scarf and pouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, her central motivation is just Eren.
Do people say Jean's name wrong?
Yeah.
Is it Sean?
It's probably Jean, but I don't care.
Or Jean?
I do think, it's funny. It's funny thinking back to Erwin, and it's like, if Erwin were here, we wouldn't be doing any of this shit. But we also don't know how far Erwin would have gotten with things in general. I don't know.
Right.
But I like the conundrum that we have of like, who was the pick, Erwin or Armin? And there is that like what if scenario that will never escape, and that Armin will never escape for like kind of good reason.
Everybody said Erwin. Everybody watching said Erwin.
I said Armin.
Really?
After they explained the reasoning, I agree with Armin.
What was the reasoning?
I did like the reasoning, yes.
What was the reasoning?
The reasoning was the implication that Armin was more hopeful for the future. Armin wanted to see like the ocean. He wanted to experience the world. He had that kind of like inspirational wonder for the world. Whereas Erwin was so burdened with everyone's death who had gotten to that point that they were kind of like subtly implying that like after they got that far that Erwin might have killed himself or he would have just stepped down. Like he was just so emotionally and mentally at his limit.
Well, they should have
gone beyond that.
They should have used some paths to see where Armin is today.
Yeah, I think that definitely made sense at the time. The issue is that they made that decision before they knew the truth about anything.
Yeah.
You know, they thought that like this was the final fight, and that and that from this point on, all they would need to do is like rebuild. And in that case, Armin does seem like the more useful person for that future. But I think if they had known that like nope, we're like just getting started, that Erwin definitely would have been the better person to have around through.
But alternatively, imagine Erwin's guilt knowing they sacrificed all these people for the sake of humanity when humanity had been surviving all this time.
Yes, but also I feel like Erwin is capable of like dealing with that.
I don't know though. That's what they were.
I trust Erwin.
I don't. I feel
Erwin
like
is my dad.
Erwin is my dad, and he works at Nintendo.
I feel like Erwin probably still would have set that aside, knowing that because he would still be preoccupied with the battle, so he would probably have to. he would deal with that and probably kill himself, but probably at the end of everything with Marley and whatever, like he probably would just continue on.
I feel like Erwin. This is probably a hot take. I feel like Erwin could have found a peaceful solution.
Oh.
I feel like once they knew the truth and were like in contact with Marley and everything, I think Erwin could have found a peaceful resolution to the conflict.
I don't know if he could have, but I do like that idea. I think he has the capabilities of thinking.
Here's a question. Are you saying like he would come up with a peaceful resolution and be able to execute it and get the Marleyans to agree, or just being able to just come up with the concept?
I don't know if he would be able to get the Marleyans to agree, but I definitely think he could have come up with a way that might have worked.
I think it's tough, though, because all of Erwin's plans involve death and sacrifice in some way, so I can't see him all of a sudden being able to come up with a, like, peaceful solution, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when it was, like, what is it, like, Big Daddy Reese Titan was coming towards, like, the wall, and they needed to kind of, like, distract him. He's like, yeah, we will use this random civilian village to lure him in, and then we will bomb his ass. Like, and they're like, well, how are we going to evacuate people? He's like, we're not evacuating
We're not going to do that. That's the neat part. We don't.
Yeah. So it's like...
That's true.
So I think he would be like... It's an interesting conundrum because, like, Armin wanted to see the world, whereas Erwin just wanted to know what existed beyond the walls to kind of, like, prove his dad was right. So who knows if, like, he finds out what happens and then he's like, yeah, we're going to die now. I'm going to die now. I'm done. I don't know, though.
Yeah, what it comes down to for me is basically just that, like, Erwin's whole thing was just like, I want to know and I want us to be free. You know, I think that's like so much of a better guiding philosophy to be leading them than, like, you know, in his absence, Hanji is technically in charge, but it's basically Eren running the show. And Eren's philosophy is just like, I want to kill everyone who has ever wronged me in any perceivable way.
Yeah. I take their freedom back before they take mine, bitches.
Right.
Like,
by which I mean I killed them.
Yeah.
No prisoners, just summary execution.
It's so... I mean, it's not funny, but I find it funny because
it's so extreme.
Like, it's really extreme, but, like, it is interesting. I do like to the credit of Armin, they've shown that Armin has that kind of, like, really pure, contagious, like, wanderlust to see the world. He has that, he wants knowledge, he wants to see everything, and we see that impact, like, Eren and, like, Levi, people who can only kind of focus on, like, the immediate future for, like, war and fighting to kind of survive the day-to-day, and Armin has those, like, ambitious goals outside of that, which I think is cool to show.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Either way, we're in paths, so we can't take the path back.
We're in paths. Paths town. Here we go.
Now.
I just had another thought too, which was that the whole deal with the rumbling, as it's been presented to us, of, you know, like, what their plan was that, you know, they would use the rumbling basically as a deterrent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
To say, like,
a threat.
You know, once the world knows that we can mobilize all of these colossal titans, then nobody's going to want to fuck with us. But it's definitely, when I think about it, a lot more likely Eren is just going to be like, all right, thousands of colossal titans, go destroy the rest of the world.
Is he able to make them all? Because that's part of the OP. Like, I fucking love that part of the OP, like the heavy riff at the start with all the colossal titans walking. And I'm hoping that happens. Is he able to make everybody into a colossal titan? Because there's only one of those.
Well,
I think it's the colossal titans hidden in the walls. He summons them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are all the really, like, everyone else will turn into titans, but it's really the tens of thousands of colossal titans behind the walls that are the rumbling.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I'm so excited.
Rumble gang.
Panic is Team Rumbling. Panic is really Team Rumble Gang.
I'm on board. I want to see this. It's so cool.
At first we were ironically Rumble Gang, but now we are full on Rumble Gang.
Comes full circle.
I'm going to be so mad if it doesn't happen.
Why is Yelena just watching everything going down? She's just chilling. She seems like a person who would want to be much more involved. I think with Yelena, it's just she sees this in such like a cultish way. Like she basically worships Zeke.
She's a toxic fangirl.
Listen.
I think her philosophy is basically just like she has been working all this time to like bring Zeke and Eren together, and I don't think that she's like capable of thinking that the plan won't work at this point.
No,
like,
listen,
she just wants to like watch Zeke, who's like her lord and savior, do his thing.
The real explanation is that in this world, movies exist, and she just watched V for Vendetta, and she thinks she's Guy Fawkes, like, and here come the strings, just looking at everything like she's what's that
also,
called,
like,
conductor.
And like, what is she gonna do? Like, Titans are fighting, people are shooting guns, we're in paths. Like, I don't think she can really like join in. I think as you said, like, she's just watching like her wonderful manipulation come full circle. She's just like speculating.
And like going off of what you guys are saying, like she doesn't have like a higher intention, like bigger vision. She's just following, like she's just trying to get all the pieces together so Zeke and Eren by extension can enact their vision. And then she'll just, she steps out of the way. I already set everything up. Now, I helped. You guys can actually take over.
Yeah, I think Yelena feels like she's already done her job.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I do have one more question about being in paths, which is like, so at the end of episode 19, Zeke reveals that like, oh, you thought because you have the founding titan that once we got to this point you'd be in charge, but actually Ymir only listens to me. It wasn't really clear to me. Does that mean that he just has the choice of what to do with the founding titan's power now and was just doing this whole memory adventure basically to like flex on Eren? Or does he still need Eren to agree with him in order to do anything?
Good question and good transition. They mention at some point in the episode when they're walking behind Grisha that Zeke can essentially pull the trigger whenever he wants, but he's so dedicated to the idea of saving Eren from Grisha's influence that he's like, I'm not going to abandon you. Like, I'm going to save you and the world. So he wants to convince Eren that their dad is a monster.
That was a thought I had too. It's like, why is Zeke so devoted to Eren?
Well, they are brothers.
I know, but they've spent zero time together.
But in Zeke's head, like, one of the big things with Zeke, though, is that he feels like his two parents, like, betrayed him. So the idea of like family and having a father figure, like that one dude who would play baseball with him, that's like his sole motivator, and he wants to be that for Eren. He feels like Eren has been abandoned, like he doesn't have a family, he's been manipulated just like Zeke was when he was younger. So he wants to be that, like, what he perceives as like a good family figure for Eren, so he can keep him from being led astray.
He mistakenly sees himself in Eren.
Yeah.
His whole motivation is just that he has like insane daddy issues.
Yeah.
Insane daddy issues.
He just hates Grisha so much that he's projecting it all onto Eren.
So like in this entire episode, he's just been trying to show Eren like, look, we're the same.
Yeah, exactly.
We're brothers. We're both victims of our dad. Wait, no, you're just fucking nuts.
Exactly.
He not only sees himself as like the brother, he also sees himself as Casaver to Eren, like when he throws him the ball.
Yep.
But like seeing Eren maybe dropping the ball, maybe hinted something in his head, like, well, maybe I should keep a close eye with him.
So I guess the question is now, is like, because it kind of the vibe I got at the end is that Eren is gonna start off next week being like, I am in fact in control of the founder. Got your nose. You didn't expect that, did you?
Maybe.
Like, the way he was posing at the end in front of the paths tree and like, I am not, you don't control me, stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like,
he's got to find some way to activate the founder, whether Zeke wants it or not.
That does still kind of irritate me, because I was irritated by the first twist that was Zeke being like, oh, actually, you thought you'd be in charge, but I control everything in the paths. And now if they do like another fake out where Eren is like, no, actually, I am in control here. It's like,
I pulled a reverse card too.
My Sigma grind set is such that
twist about who has the power in the paths when that's something that's like never really even been addressed before.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that idea. It just feels like very ass-bully.
Maybe he's gonna kill Zeke and drink his blood, and then he'll have royal blood.
Yeah.
Actually.
He smears it on his face.
That might actually.
I'm the royal now.
Actually, saying that was joking, but that might actually work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
It just needs a vial of the blood.
Maybe it's like rules as written, not as intended. I have royal blood on me right now. Let me use founder.
Yeah, I think they'll have to go over some stuff next week. Maybe there's more to Pats. I don't know. Pats has always been like,
well, don't be coy. It's like,
I don't know.
Maybe there's more to Pats. I
that.
don't know. Yeah, you do.
Not
You've
my
read it.
No, I forget. I mean, I forget the explicit details of when they explain certain events. So I'm like, I don't know. It's just paths, you know.
It's a blur to me.
It's all paths to me.
It's all just it's paths all the way down.
Yeah. But it is interesting to remember that it's like, as much as they're pulling the like double bamboozle back and forth, it's like Zeke, for all his viciousness, they both think that they're like, oh, I want to save the world. So like Zeke thinks he's saving the world, Eren thinks he's saving the world. Like they all have those delusions of grandeur or whatever. So
right,
you know, they all have what they perceive as good vibes.
He might just honestly just convince Zeke that the rumbling has to happen. Maybe he's broken Zeke down so much.
When he's like, Zeke, we're gonna kill everyone. And we're not going to euthanize anyone.
I know you want to save me. I don't want to be saved. Fuck you. Let's just kill everybody. Okay. And they all lived happily for not very long thereafter.
I just think it's so funny how the grip that daddy issues have on Zeke.
Yeah.
And then I saw a funny tweet that was like a screenshot of this, and it's like, what are daddy issues? Just like reverse traumatize your dad.
Yeah. That's great. Got you. Fuck you, Dad.
Zeke is such an interesting character. I'm really into him.
Yeah.
Erwin is still my favorite, but I think Zeke has come up to second.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Who are your favorites so far?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I always like Zeke when I see him on screen. Again, I also find him very interesting. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know who my favorite is. Guess Eren at this point. Just like, pop off, King.
Go off, King.
Go off.
Tell them what's up.
Like, if I knew more of what Eren was thinking, a little bit more, maybe, like, it'd be Eren, but I don't know. He's just kind of a loose cannon.
Yeah. Like, is his plan really so simple as to just kill everybody? Is there really nothing more to it? There must be.
I don't know. I mean, I do know, but I don't know.
You do know.
But I'm still team, I do like Zeke a lot. I think I'm still team Erwin and Levi. Levi still goes.
Oh, right. Levi's still alive, presumably.
In theory. We don't know.
In theory. I mean, we have not seen him die, so by fiction rules, he is alive. By the rules of anything that has twists in it.
So that leads into, we're still in Pats. What do you guys think will happen next week in Pats?
I think he's gonna start the rumbling. Maybe that's too soon. I don't know.
On the next episode of Paths.
Dragon Ball Paths. I didn't watch the preview for next week. I don't like doing that, so I don't actually know.
Okay. I did watch the preview. They're not really very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
I just thought like Historia is in the preview, which is interesting.
Ooh, maybe Annie finally wakes up. Anytime.
To be fair, do people like non-panic people like care about Annie that much?
Yes.
Annie Panic's like, yeah, I matter. I count.
I'm curious about Annie.
Yeah. I want to know, like, how much is she privy to in her little crystal cage?
Yeah, she's just like been a hanging thread for so long that I'm curious what's ultimately going to become of her.
She's Chekhov's
Titan.
I'm
going to throw out a prediction right now. So I definitely think the rumbling is happening. Maybe not next episode, but at some point. I think that when that happens and he like breaks all of the Titans out of the wall, that will also break Annie out of the crystal she's in.
Ooh, yes, that makes sense.
And I bet after watching this episode that like Annie's been in the tank for so long that she's been in the paths for millions and billions of years, and now she's like the super paths god.
But is she in there?
She is Ymir.
Is she in paths when she's in crystal?
I don't know.
I guess no one knows.
This is a wild guess.
Like, what's his name? Zeke went to the paths when he got blown up, so like it seems possible.
Oh, did he go to paths?
Yeah, well, he got blown up, or well, he blew himself up along with Levi
and hit it.
And then he was like, and then I spent an eternity in the paths while the founder built my body back out of sand.
Right.
Yeah, what a cheat code, huh?
Yeah, right.
And so now Eren has done the same, I suppose, right?
I guess.
Is his real physical body rebuilt now, just like that?
I don't know. We're in paths.
I feel like they implied that anytime someone transforms to a Titan, that new Titan body is built by Ymir, and like.
Yeah, I think they did say that.
Saying like she spends 100 years building a Titan body, and then they just get it. So maybe that's what happens when they, like how Eren had no leg for like 3 years, and then he transforms, and bam, the leg is back. That's like Ymir doing that. So maybe he is rebuilt in the real world.
Maybe.
I definitely would believe that it is possible. I don't know if I think.
I definitely don't think he's just dead.
Yeah.
For the rest of the story
I
now.
do think that will happen.
He's gonna survive somehow.
They're all able to sort of regenerate.
He hid half of his consciousness in the ass cheek, like you said.
I still remember when that happened, and that's when I'm like, okay, this is getting a bit wild. Like, I'm down with the surviving from falling from like 500 meters, the Titan bullshit, but like moving your consciousness to your ass, that's where I'm like, this is a bit weird.
That's cool.
Then again, there is some good claims that people can do that in real life, as we've seen in real time with a lot of people. So
what?
Like your head is in your ass. I was trying to make a pun joke on that.
I got it.
Thank you.
It's like, what the fuck? Like people surviving a gunshot wound to the head by
putting their brain in their ass.
By like
we've seen many brains up asses, but they have not survived.
Yeah.
One last thing from the previous episode I wanted to give a shout out to was when Zeke screams and turns everyone into Titans, and it's just a short scene really, but of all the Titans popping up everywhere all over the city, just like eating everybody left and right. I thought it was like weirdly nostalgic.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like,
that.
Like, look, there they are.
Like,
it's Titans eating people.
Yeah, just good old fashioned.
It's been
Titan
years.
eating people horror.
Yeah.
And it's in the same location because it's in Shigansuma. So it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's right. I remember when this all started in episode 1 where there are all these Titans eating people, and like you turn around and your comrade's getting eaten by a Titan. So
you remember when
You
remember when they started this story?
Before all this
they started the story.
Before all this convoluted shit. It was just simple eating other humans by like big Titans.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
And, you didn't before you knew they were actually humans themselves.
Right.
Yeah. And so I used the exact same words when I was watching it. I was like, this is weirdly nostalgic. Like the exact same words.
So but nice. Just simple.
They did a good job with it too, just showing how like ridiculous it is that like when everyone's turned into a Titan, it's like all these explosions, all this damage, all this eating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why only the Colossal Titan makes like a nuclear explosion when it transforms?
Probably because it's colossal.
Just because it's so big.
It's bigger.
Huge.
Yeah, because they showed that when Falco got turned into a Titan, he burnt his brother. So like, and he's like, I guess a normal.
It expels a lot of heat.
So man.
Yeah, they release steam, so it's on a colossal
So imagine
level.
that with like the big Titan. It's like the big booms, you know.
Yeah.
The big boomies.
Right. Anything else?
Yeah.
I hope next episode we leave paths.
Yes.
You want no more paths?
And we go
not because I like hate the paths, although I have mixed feeling on the paths, just because I want to get back to the real world to see what's going to continue to happen.
I am in fact ready to rumble.
I just don't, I don't want to linger on the like in between time stop stuff for too long, just because I want more plot.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was gonna ask just a quick question to Onimaru. How do you feel like this was as like an adaptation? Like, because you read it semi recently.
Well, like I think, and I was talking about this with a friend recently. I think like for now, I don't know how the next episodes are gonna go. That Attack on Titan, like the anime is the peak way of experiencing the show. Like at this point, you should just watch the anime because the adaptation's just so good and translate so well that
Yeah.
It's the way you should watch it. You should experience it.
I would agree.
I keep reminding myself about Requiem. I'm so excited for when we have to do an episode about Requiem.
That one's fun. It's
gonna be so great.
You know about Attack on Titan?
Do you not know?
Requiem?
No, I don't know what this is.
The fan-made alternate ending.
Because they didn't like the actual ending. They're making like an anime for it. They're making like a fan-made manga. They have that, and they're doing a fan-made anime for it.
It's so great.
And without any spoilers.
Like, is it good?
No.
I would
no.
I don't think it's good.
I didn't think it possibly could be.
Sinris, without any spoilers, it basically where it diverges is actually here. That's where Requiem goes from.
Wait, I think it's a bit later.
Oh, is it? Well,
it's not like one
kind of around here.
It starts diverging around chapter 137. So it's like there's 139, sorry. There's 139 chapters. 137 is when we started getting the peak grumbling, and then it is devolved into Attack on Titan Requiem.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's what I remember them saying, but yeah, so
it's big memes, and I'm so excited for it.
there's a few panels that are just like really funny. Like I guess I can share them. I might not be able to. I will wait.
That's better to wait.
You can see it in its prime. I will not rush this, but so we have multiple endings to review. That's essentially the good news.
I'm so excited. Yes.
I think Panic is going to be the contrarian and is going to be like, I like Attack on Titan.
I'm gonna love the well, I don't know the original ending. I don't know which.
I think you're gonna diverge.
Panic's already like, I don't know how this shit ends, but it sucks.
But I fucking hate it already. Because it's not gonna be the rumbling. I know it's not gonna be the big kill everyone ending.
Well, Panic is gonna be like, okay,
that's too
this
cool.
Is just the warm up for Attack on Titan Requiem.
Yeah, I'm just getting psyched for the fan stuff. I got no horse in this race.
I'm just like remembering a few panels, and then I'm like, I need the Sinris breakdown.
Well, I mean, I've seen a bunch of like panels that get memed on, and I have no idea if it's official stuff or the Requiem stuff because they both look
amazing.
Shit.
It's muddying the waters.
They both look terrible. That's the cool part about the manga looking bad is that you can fake it. It's so easy.
It's so funny. I cannot.
Anyway, until then, stay tuned. Same channel, probably some of the same people next week for another episode of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
But yeah,
thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining Cats.
For listening.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone in chat. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you for coming out. Thanks for watching. And we'll catch you next week.
Yeah. Catch you next week on Pats.
Right. See you guys.
See ya.
Peace.